How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Mojo Group. Mike here. This is the most common question that I've gotten in the last 2 years. When I read the comments, when I get private messages, is why have airplanes gotten so expensive? Well, we did some research. I asked a lot of questions myself, and I talked to pilots. I've talked to insurance companies, I've talked to manufacturers, and I have an idea why things have gotten even more expensive over the years. Okay, so here's what I like to do. First, I like you to hit that thumbs up button on this video and make sure you subscribe if this is your first time. But let's dive into it. So if we go all the way back to when general aviation was accessible, right? That's the key word here. When it was accessible to, say, the average working man, you had your plumber, your everyday 9 to 5 folks are able to buy an airplane, not just buy any airplane, but brand new airplanes, say back in the 50s and 60s. And then things kind of it hit sideways in the 70s and 80s, mainly because of litigation. Think about it. General aviation hasn't really been around that long. And I think historically what's gotten GA even more popular was World War II. When you think about World War II, that was the very first time in history where I feel like aviation really became a weapon, an ingrained part of the US military. And so we saw a boom in the production of aircraft across the board. And then after the war, you had, again, things kind of flow. Just like you had a boom in the housing market after World War II, you also had a boom in aviation. But you compare back then to now 2024, where even your used airplanes, you're paying at least $100,000 or $200,000. And if you wanted something newer or something with modern and glass avionics, then you're looking at over $300,000. Even the smaller planes, the light sport aircraft that are supposed to be the entry level planes to buy, brand new light sports now cost in the $400,000 range, which is like, so I feel the pain. But here's a serious question we need to ask ourselves. Has aviation ever really been for the average man, right? When you think about the man or woman who has a 9 to 5 or makes a good salary to take care of their family and whatnot, has airplanes and general aviation really been for that person? And when I look at 2024, it's becoming more of a no. In my experience, what I've seen is this. Generally, I think anybody can afford to buy an airplane, right? But you have to think about all the other costs that comes with that. When you buy an aircraft, one, presumably you have a pilot's license or you're looking to get a pilot's license. There's a cost to that. If you are looking to get additional ratings, there's a cost to it. Now, say you go out, you find a nice airplane or entry-level airplane that you purchase for, I think you can still get decent planes now in the $40,000, $50,000 range, and you buy that plane. Great, you're feeling good. Well, now you have to get a hangar to house the plane or a tie down. That comes with a cost. Now you have to get insurance. Guess what? If you are a fresh pilot, chances are your insurance is not going to be so low. When you're a beginner, insurance companies like to charge you this much. And then the more you fly or get time in your airplane, your premium may go down. Now, one thing that can help lower your insurance is when you get additional ratings. Say, for example, I know personally when I got my instrument rating, I saw a significant change in my insurance premium. And if you are looking to get your pilot's license or get an instrument rating, make sure you check out my flight school at lookupflightschool.com. We can train you either as a beginner, as a leisure pilot, or if you want to get paid to fly, we can train from 0 all the way to a commercial rating. We're based in Atlanta, Georgia, and also in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So make sure you book a demo flight today or just come in for a tour. Again, that's lookupflightschool.com. Now, if you get an additional ratings and you build time, chances are your insurance rate will go down. But that may not be your biggest cost. What you're really looking at is maintenance. Depending on the year model of your aircraft, depending on availability of parts, depending on availability of A&P mechanics. Trust me, there's a huge shortage in that. So you have all these additional factors that plays into it, and it makes aviation or general aviation so much more expensive than it used to be. But back to the historical context. Why is it that 50 or so years ago you could buy an airplane for $20,000 or less, new by the way, and today the same airplane costs double, triple, quadruple that amount? And chances are you probably will not be able to find any brand new airplane for $100,000, not even for $200,000. Brand new planes, you're now looking at $250,000, 300, and it goes up and up and up. And then you say, well, the average salary guy would not be able to afford this. That is true. Now, there are ways to be able to absorb the cost of airplane ownership and or just having a lifestyle of flying. I've said it many times on this channel, you can always partner with people. You can always get into a club. You can always lease an aircraft. You don't have to own one if the goal is to fly. Save your money and get access to a good flying airplane for a fraction of the cost. And if you are part of a flying club, for example, that cost goes a long way. It's spread out. So instead of you spending $10,000, $20,000 a year, maybe you spend $2,000 a year on the same airplane. It's just a matter of changing that perspective. It will come with extra management when you partner or you are part of a club. That is a fact. Another reasons why airplanes have gotten so expensive is cost of certification. Unfortunately, for the sake of safety, you have to go through this rigorous process to get an airplane certified. And sometimes that takes years. It could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. And in some cases, you may not even get the airplane certified. This is what manufacturers have to face each time they put a new product out. But guess what? If a manufacturer spends all this money on getting that airplane certified, they're going to push the cost to you, the end consumer. Another cost on the manufacturing side that most people don't think about is parts. An airplane is made up of parts, right? To build one, you have to have parts available. And chances are many manufacturers have to source out and suppliers for those parts. Think of Vance Aircraft, recently announced bankruptcy, and that's because they owe money to this supplier, this supplier, this supplier. So you have all these chain that's connected, and if supplier one raises their price, or worse, supplier one is not able to deliver at a good time, then now you have a strain on the process of building that airplane. And during the pandemic, you saw that go crazy high, where because the world was practically shut down, you had suppliers who were not able to deliver on parts, so you had a longer lead time. You had workers who couldn't come to build the planes, again, adding to the lead time. But guess what? You still have your overhead costs. So all of these things add up, and in the end, supply and demand comes into play. These are all the things that adds to the economy of general aviation. Last thing I will say is, think of airplanes as real estate when it comes to assets, right? I mentioned 50 or so years ago, you could have purchased a Cessna 172 for peanuts compared to what you'd be paying for that same asset today. A brand new Cessna 172 today, you're probably looking at $400,000, $500,000, probably even more than that, right? If you purchase that same plane 50 or so years ago, you'd be paying a fraction of that. Now, since I've been flying, which is almost 10 years now, I've never seen an airplane depreciate in value, meaning I've never seen an airplane go down in value. All I've seen is an airplane either holds its value or goes up in value. This is why I think of it more like real estate. Think about your current home or any real estate property that you may own. Chances are you purchase a piece of land or something on top of that piece of land, it will go up in value. The same thing with airplanes. That's just what I've experienced. Now, sometimes the markets move where the price of a particular make and model can shoot up, or shoot down, but I've almost never seen an airplane go completely out of character when it comes to the valuation. I've only seen airplane go up in value. So I say all of that to say this. If you're holding short or you're sitting on the side right now and thinking, I'm just going to wait until the market crashes or until something changes and then I can swoop up an airplane for a lower cost, you're gonna hate this. I don't see that happening. Again, in 10 years, I've never really seen airplanes go down in value. So if you're waiting for a time when things are gonna be a lot more affordable to get an airplane, that time may never come. Now, never say never. I don't know everything. Just based on my experience, this is what I see. So if you're looking to get in right now, just get in. Find a way, partner with people, or if you can't afford, just lease. You don't have to purchase. You can lease an airplane and pay a fraction of the price to enjoy the same lifestyle. But if you're waiting, I don't see the market being so awful that a Cessna 172 that costs $80,000 today will all of a sudden cost $40,000 a year or 2 years from now. I just don't see that happening. Again, I could be wrong, and I hope I am because I want more people flying. All right, let me know your thoughts. If you think what I'm saying makes sense or if you completely disagree, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Anyway, thank you for watching. Again, my name is Mike. If you have any questions, leave in the comments and make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate you spending time with me. Make sure you subscribe and I will catch you on the next video. Peace.